Trade wars, election calls, the threat of job losses, all of them are seeping into everyday conversations at work. And we're going to get some help from career expert Angela Champ. She's the author of The Squiggly Line Career and has tips on how to navigate those conflicts. And because sometimes, it's our job to talk about them in the studio here or when we're writing stories, but every day it's like seeping into coffee breaks and over the desk conversations, and because that's all we can think about.
That's right. Every day there's a new story that's giving us more to talk about, and so you're seeing it among coworkers, like you say, in the lunchroom, and some of these discussions can become very politically heated because people have very strong opinions one way or the other about what's happening and what's going to happen to their jobs, what's going to happen to their lives. And so it can become very heated.
And it's understandable that they can become heated, but how do you kind of like simmer down, tone down the heat on that kind of conversation?
What I like to tell people is if it does become heated, try and create some space. Take a break, go to another room. If you're working remotely, end the meeting if you can, go outside for a breath of fresh air, so create some space. Make sure you set some boundaries. So what are you prepared to take? If you don't want people swearing at you or calling you names, make sure that you set those boundaries for yourself and for others. And be really clear about what you are willing to take. Remember that there's a human being on the other end of that conversation, and that they may be coming from a place of fear. Sometimes that helps lower the temperature.
Right. There is a real fear. Some jobs, especially those right now impacted by like steel and aluminum, you could be losing your job. Like, what do you do in a situation like that if you work at a steel company?
One of the hardest things to do is to not make assumptions and jump to conclusions. Try to get as many facts as you can. Talk to your manager, talk to the leaders of your company, talk to your human resources department, talk to your union, and ask for facts. Don't make assumptions about what's happening, because that could create rumors and actually make the situation worse. So it's a very uncertain time. It can be very stressful, but try and go with the facts.
And I like that you talk about like knowing that there's a human being on the other end of the conversation. So if there's like political discord kind of thing.
Definitely. People have different views. That's what a democracy is about. You're allowed to have different viewpoints. It's what makes it wonderful.
But it's become so very two-sided and
very
antagonistic.
Polarized, exactly. And because there's a feeling of you're being threatened, there's the job loss, as you mentioned, and so it has definitely heightened those political conversations.
And then the big thing with your book is always being kind of prepared for, like, what should you be thinking of now, even if your job is safe? Things to keep in mind.
Definitely. So some things I always recommend is make sure that your resume is up to date, and make sure that you're tapping into your network so that you know what's happening in the workplace. So if you need to leave by choice or by circumstance, then you know what your options are. Create a win file. If you're getting compliments at work or you landed a big contract, make sure that you're writing those down so that you can think back and look back and refer back to your accomplishments and achievements in case you have to look for a new job. And look for sponsors and advocates. Look for people who will actually say nice things about you and your career when you're not in the room. Because when you're looking at promotions or potentially a new job, then your name will come up when you've got sponsors and advocates talking for you.
Okay, and a good idea to maybe not keep that on your work email.
Yes.
Because
definitely
terminations of the work access to your email is the first to go.
It can be disabled immediately. For sure, keep your stuff at home. Make sure that you have it in your personal email, and don't do anything at work on your email that you wouldn't want your boss to find out.
Okay, all good tips. Angela, nice to have you come in here, diffuse the situation a little bit, and we'll get the links up to your book and your websites at chch.com/morninglive.